What's up, dudes and dudettes? My name's Scythe, and today we are going to be doing an updated tutorial on how to get yourself some easy radiant gear, although it is still not necessarily easy if you are just starting out. Pretty much, in order to forge up, you are only going to need the one basic forge, which you can make at a crafting table. And as you can see here, I've got a little bit of gear. Only a little bit, just because I kind of want to show everybody. You get, I think Relic goes into Legendary, and then it goes into Resplendent. Either way, Resplendent, Rainbow Gear, is one level under Shadow Gear. So as you can see right here, this is Shadow level 1. And if we go to the Forge and we plop that in, you're going to see that it's going to take 10 eyes for each star that we forge up. I don't have any eyes right now. And 75 flux per. So eventually, once you get that all the way up, unfortunately, I don't have the eye stories, ladies and gentlemen, but once you get it up to the 5th star right there, then it is going to cost you a bunch of eyes and some flux to get this to Shadow level 2. All right, you follow me so far, ladies and gents? So once you get it up to level 2, then you spend even more souls to get it even higher. And then the tricky part comes in once it gets to level 2. In order to forge it up to Shadow level 3, you're going to have to use 2 twice forged souls. Now, the way that you get twice forged souls, the way that you get the souls is you have to deconstruct a Shadow level 2 item at a loot collector here, and let's just say this was Shadow level 2. It would show eyes, flux, as well as a third little item right here, which would be a twice forged soul, which we will actually, I'll show you all this right here. Twice. This is a twice forged soul, which you can actually buy for pretty cheap right now, actually. I'm surprised. But anyway, it takes 2 of these, so you would have to break down 2 pieces of Shadow level gear if you're trying to craft it all up yourself. And then, of course, how do you get a Shadow level 2 to be, or Shadow level 3 up to Shadow level 4? Why, with 2 thrice Shadow souls, right? Okay, so far so good. Now, if we craft our thrice up to Shadow level 4, it's going to cost us quad souls. Now, this is where you can see, actually, these are super duper cheap right now, because the average price for these, at least while I'm recording, the average price for these is about 15,000, so that's actually not bad. But anyway, you can kind of see and just do the math in your head right now, where it's like it gets pretty brutal, honestly, especially for people starting out. Now, once you end up getting an item to Shadow level 5, that's when it starts getting really, really tough, because it starts taking a ton of resources, and then you can get it to this right here they call Radiant, which is actually Shadow level 6. All right? So, in order to get that, you're going to need 3, not 2 like all the other things, pentasouls, which a pentasoul is a Shadow level 5 item broken in the loot collector, and it gives you 1 penta. So you would have to forge up 3 separate items to Shadow level 5 just to break them down and get yourselves the pentas. It's brutal. And then on top of that, what you're also going to need to forge up into Radiant, I will actually go into the hub right now. You spend dragon coins and another resource. You need to get yourself Radiant Flames, and you get yourself 3 of those alongside the pentas. Now, where you actually craft them is just over here, bottom left of the hub. Goes to the dragon area, which it seems like it's been tweaked up a little bit since I've last been here. Anyway, it would be these suckers right here. So, dragon coins, primordial flames, and radiant shards. That would get you 1 of these. So, you're going to need 3 of them. And then once you end up forging up to Radiant, then you are all good, ladies and gentlemen. But then every level, like every star level into Radiant, is going to cost you, if it would ever just stay there, hover, stay there. If it would okay, so each star level in Radiant is going to cost you 1 of these flames alongside a whole bunch of flux. So it still is very, very difficult to attain, especially if you are just starting out, ladies and gentlemen. Like, really, Radiant is not something that you're going to be aiming towards. But if you can play the market pretty well, you can actually get quite a profit on buying souls and forging them up to a penta and just selling the penta, because pentas, as you can see right here, are actually quite expensive. And well, either way, it can be very profitable. But as for trying to forge it up to yourself, it is cheaper to forge it yourself rather than buying it from the market, so long as you have the eyes, because that's one of the most difficult things to get. And I will show you all right here, because that's the biggest resource that everybody has trouble with, myself included. As you could see right there, I was so low. But you're gonna want to get your hands on the Eye Encyclopedia, which for every time that you kill enough enemies, this is going to drop 15 eyes. Now that doesn't seem like that much, but it still does add up. And if you can get yourself the legendary tome for a Lunar Soul, this is once a week and it gives you 400 eyes. So that's actually not too bad. Now the way that you go, I mean, you pretty much, if I gotta explain how to get a Lunar Soul, pretty much you just have to kill a Daughter of the Moon, and then you go down here, and there's your Lunar Soul, and there's your Titan Souls. But we'll never mind any of that. A good source of flux, of course, is the Shaper's Visions, which, as you can see right here, are tons in the store. Otherwise, you buy them for Titan Souls, which means that you can only get a couple of them a week, and that depends also entirely if you touch hard mode, which I don't, not because I can't do it, but because it takes too long. So anyways, I hope that you found this video helpful, ladies and gentlemen. That is pretty much all there is to it to getting Radiant gear. I'm going to include, like, afterwards in editing, I'm gonna put like a bunch of graphs and stuff so you can kind of calculate how many souls it's going to take to forge your gear all the way up. But I do hope that you found this video helpful, and if possible, more helpful than the original crafting for Radiant gear. So thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And if you did find this video helpful, I would also very much appreciate if you would Hadouken the like button, share, favorite, and subscribe to join Team Pixel Sado, and stay epic, everybody.